'84 season was a difficult one because in '83 I was driving with John Watson in the McLaren car, and I developed with John Barnard and Ron Dennis the TAG Turbo car. I pushed McLaren like crazy in Sandford in '83 to bring the car against the will of John Barnard because he wanted a perfect racing car and then not start earlier. And thank God we started there because the year was gone anyway, and in South Africa the last race of that year I was already in the lead with the car, but unfortunately it broke down. So I knew that I had a perfect car for the next year. And then John got replaced by Alain Prost in the last moment. If he would have signed a little earlier, it would not have happened. And then I thought at the time, no problem. This little Frenchman is another racing driver like I am. I'm going to blow him off.
Red, green, yellow, red.
But when I came to the first race in Brazil, he out-qualified me by half a second. I led the race, but he won the race because I retired. So then in the first race, I said, this is not a good start. The young teammate who just started driving the best car I produced with the team is winning the first race. And this battle went then on through the whole season. And it's very hard to beat your own teammate when he drives the same car. And I have to say, in qualifying, I could not get him because we had these stupid cars with 650 horsepower in the race and 1,200 horsepower, bringing the boost up for one lap. Nevertheless, I changed my strategy. I was thinking about not qualifying because I couldn't get him. I was thinking about the race setups. And then we came to Portugal. And Portugal was this famous last race where we were very tight on points. I had to be second in the race to win the championship by half a point. And in qualifying, I had big problems. I qualified on the 11th, Prost on front row. And nevertheless, I said before the race, don't you do a mistake.
At the start, Nelson Piquet struggled to get away from pole position with a clutch problem, and Prost took an early advantage. But Keke Rosberg rocketed through from 4th place to take the lead into the first corner. Lauda kept to his word and stayed out of trouble, but a cautious start dropped him to 13th. Prost pushed Rosberg in the opening laps, but Lauda was having mechanical problems as he attempted to fight his way through the pack.
Suddenly in the first 3 laps, when I was 11th, I turned the booster, but nothing happened. Because I broke my turbocharger. One of the turbochargers broke because of a stone, and the turbocharger did not work in the way it should have worked. So I could never increase the power. The whole race for me was a huge battle, riding right on the limit, going forward and not destroying my car. So it was for me one of the worst races.
Niki pushed hard despite the problems in the cockpit, using the McLaren's superiority to catch up on the bends and the slipstream from the cars in front to overtake on the straights. Above all, Niki needed to finish the race, but he had a near miss when passing Stefan Johansson.
I was close, but I never damaged my car, thank God. The top speed was the problem, because I needed all the boost to have the top speed to pass people on the straight. This was the handicap. The normal car behavior was okay, so I could outbrake people and accelerate properly, but the top speed was my problem, which was important there. I knew very well that Prost was in the lead. I got shown by the pit board. I knew that if I don't get second, I'm never going to win. So I had my targets in front of me by getting the people behind me. The pace I had, because of my lack of power, was not enough to catch him with the laps remaining.
Luckily for Niki, Mansell had a problem of his own when a front brake kept grabbing, making his Lotus almost undrivable. Niki now had the chance to take fate back into his own hands.
Mansell had a problem with the brakes, which I really liked, and I could pass him certainly easy. There was no more fight. Then the only way was save the car. Please, please, car, finish. Don't do anything to me. Finish, finish, finish. I had noise in the last 2 laps on my engine or turbocharger, and I just got the car finishing second in that race with all the troubles I had. And then I won the championship by half a point.
It was the smallest championship winning margin in F1 history, a record that still stands today.
So I said on the podium, listen, thank God I won, but nevertheless, next year it's your turn. And it was right. Next year he won the championship. But I can tell you another funny story. Nelson Piquet was my so-called friend. And before the race, he came to me and said, if I can help you today in any way, I'm going to help you against Prost, because he didn't like Prost. So, and the race started, and halfway through the first lap, Nelson spun off. And he was backwards in the grass. I said, listen, where's my friend? He spun off. I really got upset about this, because if somebody wants to help, it feels good. And when I went through the finish line, I never forget, I just passed Nelson. He was behind me. And then he came next to me and was looking, are you first or second? And then I said, I'm first, so thank God. And he was happy, and we were happy.